Dear Mr. Federal Prosecutor General, dear Senior Public Prosecutors, dear Public Prosecutors, ladies and gentlemen, I, Ina Maria Grützner, file a criminal complaint against all those persons at the Düsseldorf State Office for Salary, at the Essen Public Prosecutor's Office, at the Recklinghausen District Police, or at the Citizens Administration Office, Dorsten, who try to report me as missing. In order to prevent my rights as a retirement officer for lifetime, to prevent the payout of my monthly pension payments retroactively since October 2019, and who try to extort me to a false statement by financial sanctions for covering up their own criminal machinations, committing capital crimes against my daughter, son-in-law, granddaughter and other innocent people since 2003 and 4, with embezzlement of valuables, personal belongings and assets of more than 80 billion euros. I also feel criminal charges that those responsible instigating family conflicts in order to cover up their own criminal, unlawful and illegal actions. I am filing criminal charges against the Public Prosecutor's Office in Essen, who has been confiscated arbitrarily and without any information the accounts of my daughter and son-in-law, which they had provided me for my economic support for political motives in abusing the lockdown of the corona crisis with an utopian sum of over 9 billion euros per account. Targobank Duisburg and Targobank Düsseldorf, Postbank Essen and Postbank Dortmund, German Bank Essen, in order to blackmail me into making a false statement by cutting me off from any financial means, by threatening and stalking me, as in 2016 and 2017-18, by incitement of third parties. In this context, I am filing criminal charges against all persons who, during all this time, but especially within the humanitarian corona crisis, do not even allow me, my family and other damaged persons, the minimum subsistence level to live and commit permanent existential terror by means of serious data protection violations, such as repeated illegal deregistrations, academic title deletions from the register of residents, mail theft, redirection, interception of mail for the purpose of obtaining information, as well as gaining of missed deadlines. I am afraid for my life and limb, as well as that of my family, my daughter, granddaughter, my son-in-law, and that of the accused in the file number 12JS 1971-16, with all corresponding file numbers at the Public Prosecutor's Office in Essen, as I have often been threatened in the past by this group of people from the judiciary and police. For that purpose, the institutions of Interpol and Europol are being misused, even under false pretenses. For 16 years now, the victims of these criminal activities, such as my daughter, son-in-law, granddaughter and other innocent people, have been trying to obtain their rights, the return of assets and valuables, as well as compensation. This is, however, cleverly prevented by the perpetrator circle of police and judiciary, which abuses the infrastructure of authorities of internal security and justice by criminalizing the victims. Witnesses like me are also cleverly eliminated by deliberately damaging them financially and depriving them opportunities, as well as by socially defaming them in such a way that they are existentially sidelined. In view of these scandalous, inhumane conditions, unconstitutional as well as lawless areas, in which the critical citizen fighting for his rights is deprived of basic and human rights, pursued with discrimination, racism, and anti-Semitism as a really outlawed and without rights in a supposedly constitutional democracy, does not exist but has to scrape his life. Germany should not presumptuously interfere as a preceptor mundi in the internal affairs of the USA, Russia, Belarus, Iran, Korea and other countries, but first of all should remedy its own inhuman human rights violating and constitutional state hostility grievances which strongly remind of the Nazi past. For this kind of inhuman legal situation in which the judiciary and authorities ignoring citizens reside autocratically in an isolated ivory tower of ignorance, arrogance and prejudgment in order to conceal their own criminal acts and practice the rule of law with deliberate disregard for the basic law and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Germany in an old feudal sense as the law of the strongest. Important figures such as Goethe and Schiller, who conferred by means of ratio, scientific and legal ideas on Germany's international status as a country of poets and thinkers, would turn over in their graves. I ask all democratic forces worldwide, all international human rights organizations, all police and justice victims, all people with moral courage and the heart in the right place, for your support. Germany, Dorsten, August 2020, Ina Maria Grutzner.